Listen, I know the podcast episode hasn't even started, but do me a solid favor and follow us, subscribe to us, and make sure you leave us a 5-star review. Bro, you don't understand how much it helps. Thank you. Welcome to our nice little cafe. We'll nickname the Inglewood, just like the coffee beans. Me. It's all good. How would you like to drink your coffee today?
I don't actually drink coffee.
At all?
At all.
When was the last time you had a coffee?
Oh, I can't even remember. Have you got peppermint tea?
No, I don't have peppermint tea. We just got coffee, so I'll just make myself a coffee. How long has it been without coffee?
Oh, it's been a while. I can't even remember.
That's it.
Yeah, I just didn't like the way it used to make me feel.
Fair enough. And how much better do you feel now?
Oh, I feel amazing.
Yeah?
I've actually got so much more energy. Yeah.
Then there's me. I can't even function without coffee.
How many years have you been drinking?
I usually do about 3 a day. So I'll do one in the morning.
Yeah.
One usually like around this time, and then one before training.
Have you ever tried not like just one day of not having coffee?
I think the last time I said to myself, all right, cool, I'm actually going to try this.
Yeah.
I started getting mad headaches.
Really? That's not good. That just shows like you've got a proper addiction, right?
Yeah, probably.
2 days. Challenge yourself. You will feel amazing after. You won't even need it.
How long do you reckon it will take for me, for those headaches to sort of click over?
I don't know. I mean, I wasn't as addicted as you to get headaches. I just stopped.
I'm just heavily reliant, so yeah. And I drink a black too, so it's not any easier, right? When people
I think it's better that way, to be honest.
Oh, definitely. You get the full effect, I guess. Whilst when you mix it with milk, it's a bit,
it's got that taste in your tongue.
Pretty much. No, awesome. Feel free to grab a seat. Welcome.
Which way am I sitting? This way?
Yeah, that's yours. All right, guys, welcome back to another episode of Strong No Sugar, brought to you by Inglewood. Today, I have got a very special guest, someone who you've probably seen her work on TikTok. I genuinely thought she was faceless up until recently. Was that the case? Up until recently, you sort of started showing more of your face?
Yeah.
Awesome. I've got with me. Her name is Laleh, however, better known as Jacob's Food Diaries.
Yes.
Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
It's all good. How did the name Jacob's Food Diaries come around?
I actually, when I opened up my Instagram account, I didn't think anything of it. And so the name, was just like, whatever. Jacob is my son.
Yeah.
And so the food art started with him, making it for him. And when I put up on Instagram, it went viral within a month. And all these articles came out, and I was like, I can't change my name. I can't change Jacob's Food Diaries, and then it just stuck. That was it.
Nice. And so did it with everything. So sort of just to give the people an idea, because your work is cooking/creating.
Yeah.
However, it is very different compared to what's out there in everything. So give us sort of a bit of a breakdown of how it started. Sure. And what would you call it? Because to me, it's 50% cooking, but also
so
it's
food
more
art.
creation. Food art. Okay, cool. Yeah.
It's called
sounds
food art.
about right.
So it started for my son, and he wasn't a fuss eater or anything, and we just started making it in the kitchen. I turned his spout pancakes into a lion. Didn't look like a lion, looked like some kind of, I've got a photo of it, I'll show you. It's like a bear of some sort. And he absolutely loved it. And so we just started making them, and then after a while he'd be like, oh, Mum, can you make Buzz from this book or from the movie that he'd seen? And I tried it out, and like I said before, after a month, I put it on Instagram, and after a month it went viral. I had no idea about Instagram at that stage. I didn't know what a hashtag was. So that's how it started.
Just took photos and uploaded them? That's all?
Yeah, that was it. And I put about 1,000 different kinds of hashtags because I didn't know what a hashtag was. So I'm like, I'll just put this hashtag and this because I didn't know how it worked. And then it just picked up. I think BuzzFeed did an article after a month.
Nice.
And that went viral.
Of course. And I can imagine, how long has it been altogether?
7 years today was the first day I put it up on Instagram.
Wow. So the anniversary, 7 years
7
anniversary.
Years today, yeah.
Due for some sort of long service leave after 7 years.
Yeah, I know, right?
No, that's awesome. And so because whenever I look at the stuff that you post, because when I first originally saw your work, it was on TikTok.
Right.
I think probably my age group probably first see it on TikTok before Instagram.
Right.
And I remember seeing the artwork, and like I said, I just knew as a faceless account that just made food art and everything. what's like, how the idea come about of like, you know what, like you looked at food and you were just like, you know what, I'm going to turn this into, you know, Buzz or, you know, Moana.
Look, I don't know, but what I do know is like when I go and watch a movie now,
Yeah.
all the characters come to me as food. Like I went and watched the Minions yesterday and I'm like, oh, this character's amazing. And all I can see is like her hair is like tea and all this stuff. So the ideas just pop up in my head and I go by colour. So if I'm going to make a, say for example, Buzz, I'll use mashed potatoes to sculpt the face because it's more realistic. Or like if I make a face, the mashed potato will be used to sculpt the face. I don't know how I come up with the ideas. They just come up.
They just come to you.
Yeah, my mind's a bit...
Nice. And how, like, so it all started off with photos and then eventually now it's gone into videos.
Yeah, so I actually started TikTok. I opened up my TikTok account a while back, but I just wasn't getting into it. Like, I just didn't understand it. I felt like I was too old. And
she's young, by the way. She's very young.
I'm not young, I'm 38. That's old. Anyway, so with TikTok, I didn't understand it. And then this year, I think it was this year or last year, I said, you know what, I'm going to focus on TikTok because Instagram's growth was like really slow and it was just really, you know. And so I started TikTok, I think it was maybe towards the end of last year, properly get working on it. And then it blew up. I put one post up, which was the Peter Rabbit one. And with that one post, I got 280,000 followers.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
what?
and then it just went crazy then. And then now it's just like stopped. Yeah.
So it all started off with the Peter Rabbit.
The Peter Rabbit went crazy. So,
it's funny how like you're always like one post away from that life-changing.
I know, it just takes one post. And I think that's why you keep going with TikTok. It's just like that gamble kind of feeling.
This could be it.
This could be, and then it's not. And then you're like, oh, you know. So.
Nice. And, you know, I did a bit of reading on, because it's one thing consuming your content and then also like reading, like you're on TV once upon a time. And I think one of the things that stood out to me is like you actually use all like clean products.
Yeah, all natural, all fresh produce.
Has it always been like that since the start?
Always. I will never use things with preservatives unless it's like a company that's asked me to make something with their food. But it's all made from scratch. I dye all my food with actual food. So, you know, to make blue, I'd either use butterfly pea powder or I'd use purple cabbage. And so you boil purple cabbage, you add some baking soda and it turns blue.
Wow.
So that's how I would dye my stuff.
So it's a process.
It is a process, but I would prefer that. And I think that's why people enjoy the work as well and why it had such a big interest at the beginning because it was all natural and healthy produce. So it wasn't food dye or anything like that.
And the way grocery prices are going,
I
think the one question that I've been dying to ask is, how much would a face cost you to make? Like average?
It depends. Like, I mean, one of those sculptures, that's 5 to 7 kilos of potatoes. Because I make them on a big plate so that like you can see every kind of detail. Yeah, because I
saw one video where someone asked you to eat your like the creation that you made. Yeah. And like you just picked that up like it was like a large pizza.
Oh yeah, that was a Minion one.
Yeah, yeah.
My food like my grocery shopping list hasn't changed. There's times I'll be like, oh, I need to go and get this for it, and I'll go and get that. But it hasn't. I mean, it's costs like a normal meal. Yeah, it would cost a normal meal to make, but except the mashed potato ones, there's like a 7 kilo bag of
you just walking out of the shops with like 7 kilos of potatoes. What are you doing?
Yeah.
People think you're shopping for a school canteen or something. Nice. Yeah. And so you know, there's the expense of so all the stuff that you make comes with an expense. So when was there a point where you sort of realized like, cool, like I've got to really take this serious? Because I feel like everyone starts off, they're like, oh, you know, I'm just having a bit of fun. Like you said, you just made it for Jacob. And you're like, oh, you know, just have a bit of fun. And then there's always a moment where it kicks off. When was that moment for you?
I think it was a few months into it when I was on Instagram. My first paid job was with Disney UK.
Nice.
So I think then it was sort of like, and then I had Nickelodeon. I went to, I think it was the second year I went to Dubai. So it was then that it was like, you know what, this is consistent work coming in, and the money is good, and I can still be with my children, and I get to work from home. So for me, it was quite quickly, like quite quickly on that I realised that this is what I want to do, and this is actually a career rather than just a hobby or something I do with my child. So I can't remember when it was, but it wasn't long after I started.
Nice.
Yeah.
And like, were you on Dubai for work reasons, or were
Yeah,
you just on holiday?
No. I hosted 13 workshops there.
Nice.
Yeah, it was amazing. Yeah.
Wow.
This is when we could travel.
Oh, yeah, of course. Good times.
Yeah.
And like, how'd that come about? Was it just like sort of like a DM type thing? Like, hey, we would like to work with
they
you?
contacted me. So it was a big, beautiful venue, and the kitchen was, you know what Dubai's like
Commercial.
everything just like over the top. And the island was like, I don't even know how big it was. It was a beautiful big island. And so we had 13 workshops for children and parents. And it was hard work. Like, I would get there at 8 o'clock in the morning and we'd work until 9 o'clock at night every single day for 13. It was 13 workshops every day. But yeah, they contacted me, and then I said, yeah, absolutely, I'll do that. And so I've done a few workshops overseas.
Nice.
Yeah, so it was good.
How would the workshops be more like around how to get started, or is it more like you just going through the making the creation, or was it just like a class?
Yeah. So they're classes for kids and parents to be involved in and learn how to make, healthy food fun.
Nice.
Yeah.
I just find it hard to feed my kids, let alone like teach them how to make this.
It is so easy.
That's it.
Honestly, like the simple ones are so easy.
Yeah.
And I find that people, when they come to the workshops, actually realize how easy it is, and it's not time consuming, because it's all about like, when you're creating all like the pasta sauce, you get everything else ready, like all the features, the eyes, everything. So when the pasta's ready, you just add everything on top.
Yeah.
I mean, my creations, like the potato ones, they're not for eating. So you're not going to be making those.
Oh, so not everything is edible that you make, or is it?
It's edible.
Yeah.
I just don't think you'd eat stone cold mashed potatoes.
Yeah.
That's been manhandled by me.
Yeah.
Or like a human face. Like, I wouldn't want to eat.
Yeah.
A human face. Would you?
Yeah. Nah, absolutely not.
No.
No, like I said, like just when I saw that last pizza one, I was just like, what on earth? Like, this is actually edible.
Yeah, absolutely. They're all edible. Just
All
the mashed potato,
Probably not ideal.
No, I wouldn't eat it.
Wouldn't taste like a KFC.
It tastes like absolute.
Nah, okay. It tastes like garbage. I get it. Nah, nice. And what was it like working with Disney, Nickelodeon? Because like, I think in any niche, right? Whether you're making like funny videos, whether you're making parenting, whether you're in cooking or beauty or whatever, would be a dream to work with like Disney and Nickelodeon.
Yeah, it's amazing.
What was that like?
It was amazing. I've worked with them a few times. It has been amazing. I've been like, I'm so grateful for all the opportunities I have had, and they have been some amazing ones. But it's it's okay now. Like,
it's work now.
Yeah, it's work now. But at the beginning, I could, like, any email that would come through, I'd be like, oh my God, Nickelodeon want me to do this? Can you believe it? And so.
Nice.
Yeah.
And that's obviously all developed over time and everything.
Yeah.
Because I think it was you posted today the SpongeBob.
Yeah, that was 7 years. That was my first. So that was the first opening of my Instagram. That was 7 years ago.
Wow.
So, yeah. That wasn't my first creation though, but that was when I opened up Instagram.
That's when you sort of put in your mind, like, I'm opening up Instagram to post the photos and everything like that.
And there's some bad ones. But anyway.
What did it take for you to get better at it?
I just kept going, and I just kept trying different things. And I just kept, because I enjoyed it. Yeah. And I would see my son's reaction when we initially started, and how he would get involved in the kitchen. And we'd talk about, like, Mum, like, kale, and I'd say, oh, superheroes love to eat kale, and he's like, why? And I'm like, it's a superfood, and he's like, sorry, he'd say to me, I'd say to him, sorry, it's a superfood, and he'd be like, why is it a superfood? And I said, because superheroes love to eat it, and he would love that. So that was, that was fun for me. So we kept continuing to do it, and then as time went on, I just got better and better at it, I guess.
Reps and sets, you just put in the work.
I still find faults with every single creation I make.
I think that's key in like any sort of creative field. Yeah. Is like you're always your harshest critic. Yeah. And you always look back and cringe at your last work.
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
I look back at like my first video and I'm like, what on earth? Like, who let me even upload this?
But people won't see that. Other people won't see that.
No, definitely not. Or they'll probably see it with time. Yeah. Like if people like look back at my first video, I'm like there in my car, like my hands shaking, and I'm like recording this video thinking like, oh my God, what's to be of this? And I think like over time, everything just gradually gets better.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Nice. And I can see also that you do get your kids involved. what's been the process like? So obviously Jacob's a little older.
Yeah.
So for him, he sort of gets it like right away. This is what mum does. This is what I do.
Yeah.
For your younger daughter, how was that?
She will take over. Charlie will take over my business. I have no doubt about it. Like she can't sit still for 2 seconds. When it comes to food art, she will do the whole thing. She loves it. She loves cooking. I recently posted up a video of her, and that wasn't supposed to be like anything professional, but I loved it. And I laughed the whole time, and she's a gun. Loves it, loves talking about it. And yeah, so she wants to do that now. So that's going to be our Friday thing, and it's going to be called, what was it? Charlie's Crazy Cooking. That's what she called it.
Triple C.
Yeah, Charlie's Crazy Cooking. That will be the name of it, because that's what she wants to call it.
Is she sticking with the creations and food art, or is she just making like...
She'll be making recipes, and then she'll be turning them into creations that actual kids can recreate.
Yeah, because I feel like, with cooking, like food in general, these days is just about like, what's the prettiest thing we can post on Instagram? We'll make pancakes, but it can't just be pancakes. It has to be the prettiest pancakes.
Yeah.
So I think that's why, like with yourself and now Charlie soon, hopefully.
Yeah.
It's just like really, really interesting to see how food can be
Yeah.
aesthetic, but not necessarily like pretty aesthetic, just like, whoa, like mind-blowing aesthetic.
Yeah.
Do you see yourself sort of opening up your own thing, like kitchen or anything in the future?
I've been approached to do that. I've been approached to open up a restaurant. I don't think it's my thing.
No, don't.
I don't think...
You're from Melbourne. Like, we live food.
I don't think the time that I would have to put in it would be worth my while. Like, for me, this kind of career and, social media for now and doing everything that I do with my career now is worth my while, because I get to spend time with my children. I get to stay home. I get to travel. I get to do all of that. And as you know, like social media, the money's great. Like, it's good money. For something like a restaurant, the hours I'd have to put in, and it's not something I can be, like, for me, I'm a perfectionist. So if I've got people working for me and making the creations, they need to be perfect.
If you want something done properly, do it yourself.
Exactly. So I'm going to have to be there, and the time I have to put in is just it wouldn't be worth it for me.
Nah, that's fair.
Yeah.
Did you grow up in a culinary background? Like,
no,
nothing.
Not at all. Like my mum's
just...
an amazing cook. My grandma's an amazing cook. But not me. Like, I used to be able to draw or paint.
Yeah.
But now if I draw a picture, like I draw a sketch to send to my client, I'll actually apologise in the email and say, like, disregard, like, don't look at my sketch. It's really bad. The food's not going to look like that. And I was in medical recruitment prior to this.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Like nothing got to do with culinary, pastry chef, nothing like that.
Nothing like that. I used to recruit doctors.
Oh, that's it.
Yeah.
Studying recruitment?
No.
No, just got into it.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, because I lost my license. But anyway, we went
and then like what? How like was it? Just like one day you sort of just turned around and been like, I'm gonna make creations.
So one of the doctors that I was working with asked me to open up a company with him, a medical recruitment company.
See, your brain is still in food.
A medical recruitment company. Yeah. So while we were waiting for that to happen and all the paperwork, he was just taking so long. He's from the UK. And the process was taking so long. And in that time, I started making food art for Jacob. And then when I saw that took off, I was like, I can't do this. Like, this is not working for me. And then we stopped that and continued on with that.
Nice.
Yeah.
And so even like growing up in terms of like high school and post-high school, no culinary, no...
No, nothing like that. I did a children's services diploma. Wanted to be a teacher from there. You know what? I had a boyfriend in year 12 that ruined my whole year 12 VC.
So you're just like...
I just ruined my whole like potential.
Did you get a score, or you just didn't do the exams, or was it...
No, I did, but I just didn't like, rather than studying for my exams, I would be texting him or like talking to him. Biggest mistake of my life. biggest
if you're in year 12, listen up. Don't waste your time on relationships.
Let go of the boys, let go of the girls, focus on your studying, and they will all come later on. It's a waste of time.
Definitely.
Yeah. Waste of time.
It's funny because like it's a very common story where like people, like some of the people that I know, so I'm 28 years old.
Yeah.
So around my age group, I find like a lot of people that were in relationships in high school are like only like now at 26, 27 that are not in relationships anymore.
Yeah.
Have like opened up their eyes to like all the crazy stuff that's out there, and they're like, oh, like I've finally woken up, and all this stuff. And I'm like, man, you're doing things that you should be worried about when you're 18. Like, you shouldn't be clubbing when you're 28, 20. I mean, do whatever you want, but...
Although I do go out now.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Every now and then.
Yeah, you got to have fun. But
Yeah.
I feel like there are some people that, you know, the things that they're meant to do from 18 to 22, or like at least the prime of it, right? You don't want to be the 28. I mean, things have changed now, but you don't want to be the 28-year-old, that 18-year-old club.
Yeah, absolutely not. No, that's embarrassing. But what my advice to my kids would be is to focus on your studying, and then once you've finished, you can do your partying at university, and you've got your you're studying, you've got into the course that you want to get into.
Yeah.
Then focus on, if you want to party, all that kind of stuff. But year 11, year 12, forget the boys, forget the girls. You're not going to be in a relationship with them anyway later on.
I mean, low chance.
Very low.
Very low
Extremely low.
these days.
And they're just going to break your heart anyway.
With social media and everything. No. I'll get back at them.
Yeah.
No, awesome. And so with, going back to like what you said with advice to your kids, would you have any advice for people that are sort of looking to get into cooking? Because I felt like over lockdowns, that dreaded word, lockdowns, a lot of people like sort of got into a bit of cooking. Some people have held onto it. Some people are sort of like, I just had the downtime, so I did it. Do you sort of have any advice for people that would be looking to get into that type of like Instagramming and TikToking their cooking?
I am not a professional with TikTok and Instagram. I don't know how it works. I haven't, for me, it was all like I would just post. That's all I'd know about it. I'd post TikTok. I didn't understand it either. I love TikTok now though, but I don't understand it. So I don't have advice on that aspect. What I can say though is that if you enjoy it, keep at it. And I don't know, just keep continuing to do it. And
Do you have your own videographer, or do you do all your own editing?
No, I used to. So at the beginning, when Instagram was like everything needs to be perfect, I had a videographer and he was amazing. And then he went to Mexico prior to COVID and he got stuck there.
And just like never came
He
back.
can't come back. He can't come back. He wants to, the poor guy. And when everything was perfect, I used to have it all done and have a videographer and have it all filmed. You don't need to do that now.
Yeah.
It's a waste of money. Sorry. For social media.
But I think for 30-second videos, definitely. Like if you're making 30 seconds to a minute, like if you're making TikToks.
Yeah.
My personal experience with it all is the more professional it looks,
I agree.
the less TikTok and Instagram rewards it.
Yeah.
So if you're recording something off your phone, Instagram and TikTok are more likely to be receptive to it.
Yeah.
Anything that looks too professional. Like the funny story is when I was making my videos, there was this point where I turned to my partner, my wife, and I'm like to her, babe, I'm going to go out. I'm going to go get like professional microphones.
Yeah.
And I'm actually going to when I'm going to make my videos, I want it to be like professional. And I remember posting like 1 or 2 videos and people were actually going hard on me. They were like, why would you do that?
Yep.
Why would you? No. We get back in the car, make a video with your phone.
Yep.
It's too professional. Do you feel like that is the case with social media, especially
I find
now?
that people now want raw footage and raw content. And the more bloopers and the more like stuff ups that you make, or like when things aren't perfect, I think that's got way more engagement than something that looks amazingly like perfect. I remember when I first said I'm going to make food art videos, I went and bought a table, like a beautiful table. I bought the studio license before the videographer. I bought, those round rimmed, not your one from Kmart, like a proper rimmed. I think it cost
Don't
me
disrespect my Kmart ring light.
I've got one from Kmart now. I'm not disrespecting it. I'm just saying back then they didn't have that, right? So $500 on that. I bought all this stuff just to make the video. And now I literally take videos with my phone. That's it. I don't even use my camera anymore.
No flash?
No flash. I actually film outside.
Yeah, natural lighting always works better.
Absolutely.
Some of my best videos have been in natural lighting.
Yeah, I agree. And like with my work, it all depends on the weather. So if it's sunny, I can't film. And I can't use one of those reflector things. I know you're going to turn around and say to me, why don't you use that? I can't use one of those because I find that it still takes away from the natural light. And you'll see in some of my videos, like the background sort of, rather than being grey, is like a blue tinge to it. Whereas when it's cloudy, it's beautiful. Like the colours come out really nice. You can see everything on the creation. But I actually film outside, so.
Nice.
Yeah. So on my phone, outside, in my PJs.
Do you feel like influencers have sort of ruined that perfection? Like I feel like this Instagram from the start was just like perfect life, perfect cooking, perfect this, that. Now sort of people have drifted away from it.
I think there's still creators out there. Like for me, I still like to have everything looking as perfect as it can be.
Yeah.
But I do find that now the ones that have got the higher engagement are the ones that are just like filming, just your normal content in your face, like different.
Just shotgun.
Just angles are terrible.
Yeah.
You know, I know someone that films and like their angles like this, and I'm like, why don't you just put your angles, put your phone straight so the actual angle of your face you look better. But yeah, I find those ones are getting better engagement.
Definitely. And even like looking on TV now, like the stuff that you see on TV, like TV shows.
Yeah.
I know you've had a few stints on TV.
Yeah.
Like they're also like the stuff that they're sharing with people. Like for example, your project, your Ellen.
Yeah.
You know, like I mean, Oprah Winfrey isn't around, but the TikToks that they're sharing and everything is like just raw footage.
Yeah.
Everything shotgun. Like some of them are like even like within the moment.
Yeah.
Thing that like they just happen and then like random fluky.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that gets a lot more. And I think also FaceTime has sort of bred that experience where when you're watching someone, it almost feels like you're FaceTiming them.
Yeah. Yeah.
That similar
it's that
experiences. I
same-
think going from that angle is like reminds me of like I'm speaking to my family overseas and they're like, oh,
Or your
hello,
grandma,
can you
you
hear
just see
me?
the eyes.
Yeah, pretty much, or just like the corner of their face.
Yeah.
So it just replicates that. But going back to the stints on TV, Jamie Oliver.
Yeah.
You've seen that you've wanted to work with him, and then was that something that you've done work there? And
So
Alan as well.
that was when I first started, and I received an email that he wanted to turn my creations, his food into sorry.
Everyone's food.
Yeah, his food, his recipes into creations. So I did 2 of those, and I made some birds in a nest.
What was that experience like?
Amazing. He's really nice. He still follows me. So
Nice.
he's been following me since the beginning.
Yeah.
Which is really nice. But yeah, he's a really nice guy.
Nice.
Really nice. I mean, I don't talk to him, but he's
Of
we've
course.
spoken, a few times here and there through messaging, but it's nothing. Okay, he's not my friend.
Yeah, of course. I think it's just one of those.
But he's a really down to earth, nice guy.
Nice.
Yeah.
I thought like, but then again, I was thinking like Gordon Ramsay, where like he's such a perfectionist.
Yeah.
So like everyone, obviously we get the Gordon Ramsay on TV. That's just like swearing out at everyone.
Yeah.
Have you ever worked with a client where it's sort of been that experience where they wanted to work with you, but then again, like when you gave them that, like when you did the work for them, they sort of weren't happy? Did you ever have an experience like that?
For me, my main thing is for my clients to be happy. So if I want them to be 100% satisfied, so if they come to me and say, you know what, we're not happy with this, you need to change this. It's not I just tweak it here and there. It's I have to do the whole creation
Remake it,
all over again.
Yeah.
I remember once, I won't name the company, I did a creation for them, and I had to make it 4 times, over and over again. And in my inside, I'm like,
You would have been burning.
how many times I have to make this? But I understand because
Yeah.
it's not like they're paying
Of
for a
course.
service, and I want them to come back. And for me, being like perfectionist, if they're not happy, I'm not happy either. And then you can sense it if they're not happy.
Yeah.
Because if they send an email saying, oh, this is amazing, or if they say, okay, thank you for this, can you please post it on this date? You're like, oh, they didn't like it.
Yeah.
So yeah, it has happened before, but I've always, like I said, clients are always, they need to be satisfied.
So the process is never just tweaking something. It's always like, no, you got to remake it.
Got to remake it.
Wow.
Yeah.
And has it ever been like different ingredients, or they're like, oh, instead
Yes.
of making the face out of pizza, turn it into mashed potatoes,
Right.
or is it like that?
Yeah, so one recently, actually, a few months ago, so what I do is normally I'll send them a sketch and I'll say, these are the ingredients, you need to approve it, right? So they approved the sketch and it was, I shouldn't say it was pancakes. And that was what was approved. Sent them the video. The video was amazing. The creation was amazing. And I don't say this lightly, right? So it was amazing. And they came back and said, we love it, but can you make it with mashed potato now?
Well, so
And
they
I said-
changed their mind completely.
They changed their mind, and I actually said to them, listen, like, I'm more than happy to recreate this, but this is why I send you a sketch with the ingredients. So if you want me to recreate it, I need to charge you more. I ended up charging them more. They weren't happy about it, but I don't like, for me, if it's change of mind because of ingredients, well then I'm putting in another day's worth of work. I'm not working for free.
Of course,
You know.
respectfully.
Exactly. Like, and I mean that in the most respectful way. And I said to them, like, you wouldn't do it either, because it's change of mind. It's change of mind on ingredients, not that you didn't like the actual creation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you ever had anyone reach out to you to like make, like for example, like let's say I'll like message you, but like, hey Laleh, I'll send you a portrait of myself. Have you ever had anyone?
I have had. I've had random people. I say no. I decline.
What would don't give us like the exact figure.
I can't do.
What?
How much would it cost?
Yeah,
and
like let's say
I say no.
Okay, so if I was to send my face,
the reason why I say no to just like, you know, your general public is because what I would charge a company, I could not charge somebody like that.
Yeah.
Do you get what I mean? I can't charge the general public that kind of money, because it's not, I wouldn't feel right doing that.
And I think also the tricky part about being in the space is you're also thinking about the return on investment.
Well, that's, I mean,
well.
for me, it doesn't, like, I'm not,
like
for the
company.
For a company, they're paying for not just the creation, but for the exposure, well, for putting it out there. It's advertising for them, right? So I've got a lot of people for Disney in my crowd. My audience loves Disney. So for Disney to reach out for me, they're not just paying for the creation, they're paying for me to post on social media. For general public to be contacting me, it's me, like I had a guy, can you make my dad's face for his birthday? Mate, I can't charge you this amount for your dad. It's not worth it.
It's not normal, It's
not worth it.
Yeah.
Like for me, it's my time, so it is. But for you, like for me to charge you that amount is not worth it. I can't crook figures.
I know, just because like when I was looking at the feed, it was just mainly obviously cartoons, and I'm like, you know, if it was my birthday and I reached out, or like, you know, my partner reached out. No, I'm not trying to get a free face. Listen, these eyebrows will take a long time to put together, really. But like, I was just genuinely wondering. Oh, what'd you say?
Do you wax your eyebrows?
No, threading.
Oh,
threading. I used to wax them, but some lady, I used to work with an Indian lady.
And she ruined them?
And she, no, she didn't ruin them. She actually did me a solid favor. She come up to me, she's like, do you wax your eyebrows?
Right.
I said, yes, I do. And then she's like, I reckon they'll look better if you thread them. I'm going to give you this Indian lady. You go to her and get them sorted. And then the rest is history. Here I am. So
yeah, okay.
Yeah. But anyways, I genuinely thought, like, you know, if it's someone's birthday or something, it's like one of those things. They're like, oh, you know, it'd be nice if, you know, you did it. That's why I thought I'd ask. Yeah,
look, I don't know. For me, like, especially sculptures as well, it's very hard for me to make, like, say if you reached out to me, can you make my face? Like, I've tried to make celebrities before, and they don't turn out great.
Yeah, no, not celebrities. I think more so like something intimate, like if I made one for my wife.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like
but the thing is this, the face doesn't always turn out to be like the person. And so I don't want to offend people either. So if I send you something I've made of your face and, like, you know, I've made your nose too big, or it's offensive, and I don't want to offend people.
No, fair enough. With companies, sometimes you've had to remake them, you know, like remake the face and everything. And in the world we're living in, people are always going to have something to say.
Yeah.
Have you ever been sort of hit with overconsumption, or like almost like you're like that? Oh, you know, you're wasting food.
Absolutely.
How?
All the time.
Walk me through that.
Right. So when all the articles came out, I had so many people saying, "Oh, you're wasting food," which I didn't understand, because back then the food was just like normal meals and edible meals, and they weren't the mashed potatoes. At first, I was responding, and at first I was like getting onto the articles and getting really upset about it, and like responding back to them. Now I just don't even care. I did a video on a TikTok where someone wrote "waste of food," but they spelt "waste" as in waste.
Yeah.
And I just did a thing to them, like, as in, no, it's actually waste, like, spell it this way. I don't care anymore. They can say what they want.
You should have done, like, you know how like belly dancers have their little thing. You should have like made one out of food.
Yeah. No, I don't. It doesn't bother me anymore. They can say what they want.
Yeah, of course.
I mean, I don't think I'm wasting the mashed potato ones. Yes, I'm wasting potatoes. I get that. Yeah. But for me, if, like, you know, especially during lockdown, I had a lot of comments saying, you know, thank you for your creations. You know, you're putting a smile on our face during these hard times, and blah, blah, blah. So for me, it's worth it. It's not a waste of food. If I'm making you smile, or if I'm making kids happy, that's not a waste for me. So.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. And, you know, the videos that you're clocking up millions of views. So it's not like...
Not anymore. My God, not anymore.
No, but like most of your creations are like hitting, like, you know, the high 100,000s. And I think we also undersell how many views. So like even if you get 5,000 views, like there are basketball games in all over Australia that don't get 5,000 people in a stadium. So you're still doing fairly well.
Yeah, I don't
regardless.
know. I think lately it's been pretty low.
Yeah.
But prior to like the last, I don't know, few months since it's just everything's dropped, the views were pretty good.
Yeah.
It gives you kind of like some kind of, I don't know, it's crazy, but
it's a vote of confidence.
Yeah. And I think because you are putting it, like for me as a creator, I'm not an influencer. I've never wanted to be an influencer. I'm a creator, right? Yeah. So for me, that engagement is like, that equals work for me. So the more engagement you get, the more likes you get, it is a confidence boost, but it's also, you get more clients. You know, so that's why this kind of stuff, when the engagement's low, the reach is low, it's deflating.
Bro, you've made it this far into the podcast. The least you could do is take a screenshot, put it up on your story, tag us at Strong No Sugar to let us know that you're listening. Appreciate it. Guys, as you can see on the podcast, we're really, really enjoying Inglewood coffee. Now, Inglewood are a specialty coffee roaster in Melbourne. You can shop the whole range at 40% off using the code word Teddy. They do free shipping for anyone in Victoria, and Australia-wide, they do free shipping if you spend over $50. Shop now, www.inglewoodcoffeeroasters.com.au. Sit back and enjoy your coffee. We'll let you get back into the show. That, and I think also with your videos, people be like, oh, why don't you do this?
Yeah.
Why don't you do that?
Yeah.
Because I remember like one of the ones that I saw that popped up on my thing, I remember this was on TikTok where you couldn't scroll without seeing videos of the Island Boys.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I did the Island Boys.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And one of the videos that I saw of yours was someone saying, oh, you should do the Island Boys.
Yeah,
and you did it.
Yeah, and then he duetted it.
Oh, dead set.
Yeah, and I felt so bad because I think I offended him, but he's actually a really nice guy. And you could just see by his face that, like, his face dropped when he saw that. And I felt so bad. Being a mum, like, I didn't mean it. I mean, the reason why I chose bananas for that creation was because it was the closest thing I could find and the quickest thing that, because he's got crazy hair, right?
He got the dreads, like
yeah. So I felt really bad, but anyway.
Engagement always helps, right?
Yeah.
And I think it also makes you look back and be like, oh, you know what? Maybe one day, if you know, have you ever like looked back at a creation and thought, you know what, I should remake that and do it better?
I am actually going to be doing that. So I'm going to be doing a series of ones that I first made and then recreating them to now, so you can see a comparison. Yeah, because it's different.
Yeah. Would you be able to redo the Island Boys a lot better? Like looking back in hindsight, would you be able to do the Island Boys a lot better?
Oh, I don't know, you know, like mashed potatoes are very hit and miss. The sculptures are one day they'll look amazing. The next day you're like, what have I done here? And I'll just like thing it and throw it out. They're very hit and miss. But if you compare my mashed potato sculptures from the beginning to now, they're like
world of a difference.
Yeah, world apart. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. And another thing that I wanted to touch on about the Island Boys.
Yeah.
Have you ever had someone sort of, like you said, like celebrities have sort of reached out about you know, doing things. Have you ever had anyone reach out to do like a full body, almost like a full image, like instead of just the face, do almost like a passport photo, like shoulders up or you know, even like chest up or something?
No, I used to do the full body.
Yeah.
But then I changed it to just the face, just so that you could see more of the detail. And I think the engagement became higher when it was just the face. So that's kind of my look now of it's just the face.
Yeah.
There are other food artists trying to replicate that look as well. They went from doing a whole body to just a face.
Yeah.
No, I haven't had that. I haven't had anyone reach out to me.
I don't know. Someone would just be like, man, I need like this portrait done, like shoulders up or anything like that.
No.
How long does it take for you to make, on average, a face?
So I've made a creation. So the Peter Rabbit one, that was a collaboration. So that was a paid partnership. And that took me... Sorry, the Lion King one took me over 20 hours.
I'm assuming not 20 hours straight of you doing everything, or was it like broken into days?
No, it was 16 hours straight.
Yeah.
Of putting individual grains of rice to create a lion from Scar. You know Scar from Lion King, the real life one, yeah. And then the next day, like because it was rice, the mashed potato, you couldn't see that it was gross or anything like that underneath. And so the next day I got up and then I did all the features and stuff like that.
Wow.
Yeah, my hand hurt after
20
that.
hours, yeah.
And then the Peter Rabbit one, I think it was about 16 hours altogether.
I just cook like rice and chicken in like half an hour, and I'm like, whoa.
But they're for like, proper work.
Yeah, of course.
And commissioned work.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, the sculptures depends. They can take anywhere from 45 minutes to 2 hours to 3 hours, 5 hours. A normal meal depends if like my children are eating it. That will take between 30 minutes to 40 minutes, and depends on how detailed it is. If it's cold, like if it's fruit, totally different. If I have to cook sauce, totally different time. Yeah.
Of course. And with the family eating at home, how often are you cooking these? How often are you cooking and making these creations?
Honestly,
is it like a daily thing, or is it?
No, God, no. No, before when it was just for Jacob, I would make it 3-4 times a week.
Yeah.
Now it's just purely content, and then the kids will come home and be like, oh, can I eat that? Yeah, go, you can eat it. Like, it's like, cause Jacob's at school, Charlie's at kinder 3 days a week. And it's now, because it's a career for me, so it's content. And then I eat some too.
I was gonna say, like, I can only imagine. Like, imagine being at school all day,
Yeah.
then you come home and like scars just on the bench top. You're like, oh man.
Yeah, but you can't. Like, some of them are like, like
Got to separate. Yeah.
cold and no. And you can't pop. Like, I can't pop a creation that I've made in the morning in the oven, or I don't have a microwave, but in the oven to heat up, because then it'll just get all mangled, right, in the heat. So
That's true.
yeah.
What is your preferred method of cooking, or mainly oven?
Yeah, you should not use a microwave.
Interesting.
Yeah, because of the radiation, it's not good for you.
You just sort of
I'm pretty sure
you
it's
stay
been
away from it.
banned. I'm pretty sure microwaves have been, don't quote me on this, but I'm pretty sure they've been banned in Japan.
Wow. Did not know that.
They're not good.
No good.
No good.
Do you have a? Do you
Throw out your microwaves.
No.
I haven't had a microwave.
Microwave out right now.
Microwave and coffee. I haven't had a microwave for years. Years.
Yes. And so do you have like a commercial grade kitchen at home, or are you just cooking in a normal kitchen?
So we've renovated. We sold our home. We renovated
Specifically for this, or is it?
No. So we're going to get into detail now. So our previous home, I renovated and made the kitchen perfect for filming. So we had, I was going to stand up in a minute. We had like a, like in between the benches was enough for like film crew to come in and all that kind of stuff. I had 2 ovens, coffee machine.
Nice.
Inbuilt coffee machine.
Nice.
All that, and bench space for that. We've sold that. We're renovating another home to flip. And so we're now renting, and this kitchen drives me mad. Like, the space that I have in this kitchen it makes me not want to cook, to be honest.
Is it one of those like with an island in the middle, or is it just like more closed off, like an L shape?
It's like I think it's like a U shape, to be honest, but it's just so like you can't use it. The bench is tiny, the stove's tiny, everything's tiny.
But it gets the job done?
Gets the job done, but it's not like my previous one, which was made purely for
content.
Yeah.
Interesting. And so you're just there pivoting in the U shape.
Oh, it's so hard. It's so hard. But, you get it done. But I think it's not as enjoyable as it used to be.
Talking about like being in the kitchen, have you copped any injuries whilst making your creation? Why are you laughing?
Because I hit my head on the cupboard doors every single time I cook. I'll hit my head, like I'll open the cupboard door. I actually someone had posted a little TikTok story about her working, and like she bumps into things. That's me. I hurt myself in this kitchen all the time because it's so small. I have burnt myself quite a few times. I got burn marks everywhere. But I haven't had any serious injuries, no.
Yeah. Just because I was a barista for 2 years.
Right.
And I think because I was working at the airport, my eyes copped it from the computer screen of reading orders, and my wrists copped it as well.
Yeah.
And I've then, like, as I started observing, as you can tell by my videos, I'm a very observant person.
Yeah.
People that work in the kitchen are always copping injuries.
Yeah.
And that's why, like, when you're like, I'm in a U-shaped kitchen, I'm like, whoa, if you're pivoting the way you are and cooking the hours that you're cooking, that's why I thought I'd ask about injuries.
Yeah, I think it's just mainly burns. Like, I've got scars everywhere on my hands and stuff. That's what it is.
Did you work in hospitality growing up?
No.
Not at all?
My first job was Hungry Jack's.
How was that?
I did one night shift and I quit.
Oh, that's it.
No, I worked for a few months, but I did one night shift and then I quit. I was like,
what was the last straw? What, just it being night?
It just wasn't my thing.
It's just like, nah, it's not my thing.
No.
No, that's fair.
But yeah, no, I never worked. It was mainly just like retail.
Nice.
Yeah, I was worked in retail growing up, but not hospitality. Yeah.
Nice. Because I think my biggest hospitality injury was at Macca's. was working at Macca's. I was working on the grill.
Yeah.
And I think like, so you know how you press down the patties on the grill.
Yeah.
And I think like I pressed the button and I didn't realize like I pressed the wrong one. So I went to move the patties. And as the thing was coming down and I burnt my finger.
Oh, it's the worst.
And I'm just like, oh, man.
Yeah, it's the worst feeling.
Because my father's a chef. So I'm like,
is he?
Yes.
Oh, right. I didn't know that.
There we go.
What kind of food?
I think like say he moved from Morocco to Melbourne.
Right.
And he just started off like typical, I think at the time like Italian was,
Yeah.
everywhere you went was Italian. So he just stayed with Italian cooking and everything.
Nice.
But he's pretty versatile.
Moroccan food's so good.
It's good, but it takes too much time to make.
Yeah, I know. But it's worth it.
Yeah,
So
it's worth it if you're making like, if you know, for us here, cool, it's nice. You make it for the one occasion, but no one has been able to nail nail a restaurant. I think the only place is the Moroccan Super, but making
That's
soups
so
is
good.
very
Is
easy.
it Sydney Road? Or
I think it's a Fitzroy. I think it's not too far from Sydney Road.
Yeah,
I think the one you think about is the Paella place.
I don't know. There's one that I went to years ago. It was amazing. It was like an old Moroccan man, and there's like carpet on the walls, and it's like real, like.
That's so Moroccan.
Yeah.
As soon as someone says old man carpets, I'm like,
yeah. But it was really good, hearty food. Like
what?
Really nice. I think it was on Sydney Road. I can't remember. It was down that way though.
Yeah, because there used to be one, and then it turned into like a fusion of like Moroccan and Spanish.
Right.
And now it's become an Indian restaurant and sort of like gone its own way. Just because I think people just genuinely won't pay the price it costs to have a meal like that, especially on Sydney Road. Like back then, or even like 4 or 5 years ago, Sydney Road was like, oh, you know, like we'll go there, have a meal.
Yeah.
Whilst now it's just seen as like we drive past it and that's it.
Oh, really? I haven't been to Sydney Road for a long time.
Oh,
They've got that really good, that bakery. What's that Lebanese?
A1? A1 Bakery? I think so.
That's
That's everyone
huge.
goes to it.
It's so big, and it's got the cheese inside the.
Yep. A1
Oh,
Bakery. That's like
so good.
Melbourne's, I'm pretty sure, most popular
Really?
Lebanese bakery. Yeah, I'm
It's
pretty sure.
huge. It's so big.
It's massive, and
Yeah.
like the amount of volume they're pumping through
Yeah.
is crazy. What's your favorite food to eat? Like creations aside and everything, like just cuisine, like on a general
As in
basis.
like last meal, if I had to have a last meal.
Yeah, like, you know, well, what do you enjoy? Like, because
I enjoy everything. I love Iranian food, but that's because I've been brought up with it. You can't compare it to anything else because it's so different.
do you feel like with Iranian food, and
Have you had
this
Iranian
is
food?
once.
But what did you have?
I had, I think it was like a kebab.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, like that, but that's
a
like general.
barbecue.
Yeah, exactly. That's
Yeah.
barbecue.
And
Like
then you're
anyone
done
can
for
get
3
it done.
days after.
Yeah, like the amount of heartburn that I got. Bro, two foods that I'll never ever forget is Afghan food and Iranian food.
Yeah, no,
I
that's
had
not
it.
Iranian food. That's kebab, so it's different, right? So that's
Okay.
an Iranian barbecue.
Barbecue. Okay, so
Which-
Iranian barbecue. I had that.
Totally
and
different.
The heartburn that I copped.
Yeah, you
Bro, I
regret
was
it.
dying. Like I was in bed 2 o'clock at
Yeah.
night, and I'm like, bro, I don't
it's
think I can ever
horrible.
eat that food ever again.
No.
And it was takeaway. My
Right.
theory when it comes to food, if you want to have a proper ethnic
Fresh,
meal,
yeah.
fresh, number one, and number two, homemade.
Yeah.
Like if I was to come
Yeah, they
over to your
can't-
house, you
yeah,
could probably
yeah.
make better Iranian food than I could eat out at a restaurant.
Yeah.
Do you agree?
Yeah, well, I can't. No, my mum can. My mum
No, not in that. Like in the sense of like ethnic food. If you want the
Absolutely.
best
And
ethnic
that's the thing,
food.
like when I go to an Iranian restaurant, you can't, I would never order a casserole there because I just know it's just not going to compare to mum's. So you just don't, right? You order the kebab and the rice and the meat and all that.
Safe
and then
option.
Then you like regret it.
The drive home.
You drive home the next 3 days, you regret it. Like, sorry, you can't go to the toilet, nothing.
Yeah.
Like, it's horrible. But Iranian food is amazing. Like, it's fresh. It's, it's just made from scratch, herbs, fresh produce. Like, it's beautiful food. Proper Iranian food, not your kebab. So I would have to go, my favourite food is probably Iranian food.
Yeah.
And
What would be the meal to order? What would be the meal to order? So like, let's say tomorrow I'm flying to Iran. I get there, fresh off the plane. I walk out. What's the meal that I order?
You got to
Pardon?
have a selection.
Selection,
So
all right,
say
go.
you go to an Iranian person's house. They don't just bring out one meal. Right?
Okay.
It's like an array of meals. And it's always these ones. So it's always horma sabzi, which is like fresh herbs. It doesn't look great.
Yeah.
Definitely doesn't look great. But it's herbs, like you can use shank, beans, and then you have that with rice. So there's horma sabzi. So you have a bit of horma sabzi, and then you get a bit of fesenjun, which is amazing. Walnuts, pomegranate, and you can do chicken or whatever meat you want with that. So you get a bit of that. Then you can get some solos Olivier, which is like a potato salad. Amazing. It's so good. So that's what I would have. And then so there's Zedesh Polo, which is, I'm going to go on now. It's like a beautiful rice with, they're called dog berries. Yep. They're like sour little berries and sultanas. They've got almonds. What else is in that? And then you've got like your orange rind that goes in that as well with chicken. Iranian food's amazing. You just got to have a proper person cooking it.
So pretty much homemade.
Homemade. I remember I went to a friend's house once and her mum made this casserole, and I've had my mum's, and hers was like all watery and no.
I think
It's got to be done right.
Yeah, I think, and stuff like that takes time to cook as well.
It does. Iranian food takes a long time to cook. Mum's just made her own cookbook to pass down to like my children and us and all that. So yeah, it's hard. It's not easy to cook Iranian food.
For sure.
Yeah.
So talking about books.
Yes.
You've got something in the pipeline.
I do.
Yes. Tell us about that. That was a bit of a shock.
That was a shock for me as well.
For you as well. That was a shock for me. When I read about it, I'm like, the Duchess of what?
Yeah, it was unexpected. So during lockdown, I was contacted by her team. And she writes children's books, actually. Yeah. Some amazing ones. Yeah. And she also does a lot of food art on YouTube. So during lockdown, she may have opened up a few YouTube channels, are they called? Yeah. They're like shows and stuff. And one of them is Fergie and Friends. And so she reads a book, and she gets other people to read books as well. So she asked me and the kids to read a book, one of her books, and so we did that, and she asked me if I could make the cover of her book. So I made that. And then she's lovely, by the way. She's so down to earth. And then they contacted me again and said, would you be interested in doing a food art book? And I'm like, what? Like an actual book? And they said yes. And so it's happening. We've been working on it for like 2 years because of lockdown. It's been really hard and really delayed, but I'm actually leaving for the UK in a few weeks.
Nice.
Yeah, to get it all done, do the photo shoot, meet her. I'm looking forward to it.
Definitely. Is the product finished already?
Yes.
Or is that sort of like...
Well, so that's why I'm going to the UK. So we're doing the photo shoot in the UK, and then we're doing like recipe tasting. Yep. So I've tasted it all, but I need them to taste it as well to see if it's okay.
Of course. And their food is from like I'm pretty sure her content is based around like books, I know. Yeah. But also food as well.
Yeah, so
from
she
what
makes
I hear.
food art too. And yeah, I know. I didn't know that either, but she's got her own little food art channel where she makes like little easy food art things, and she loves it. She loves it. And her mind is such a creative mind. Like we'll have chats and she'll come up with all these ideas on the spot, and I'm like, wow, like I can't keep up. Yeah. Yeah. So she's actually really nice. Nice. Really, really nice. I'm really looking forward to meeting her.
Of course, that's going to be an unforgettable experience.
Like amazing. Yeah. Like that for me for that to be on my portfolio is, unexpected.
And it's funny because
never think about
you look at your SpongeBob art from then, and then you look at what's coming up, and you're just like, how did this?
Yeah, like I said, it's been such an amazing journey, and yeah, I've had some amazing collaborations, amazing commissioned work. And it's been amazing for me to be able to provide for my family, because that's the biggest thing. Fame's not important to me. That's why I never put my face up at the beginning. Yeah. I didn't want to be famous. I didn't do this for fame. I didn't do this to be an influencer. I did it purely to make, obviously people happy, like put a smile. But my first priority was to make money for my family. Yeah. And so that's what keeps me going. And that's it.
Nice. What's the future looking like for you for Jacob's Foods Diaries?
Because I've got a few things on in the pipeline. Yeah. So the book, I'm releasing some NFTs, which I'll be getting into that NFT. Don't start. Let me tell you something about NFTs. I have no idea about them, but
you've got to teach me, because I've got barely a clue.
I don't know, but I've got a team that's going to be doing it for me. Nice. So Colin's NFT.
Food related. 100%. This guy is all over it.
Are you?
Yeah, of course.
Cut
Kyle
this out.
NFT.
Cut this out of the thing.
We can speak after 100%. But
right.
Is it like a food based? I'm assuming.
Yeah. So I'll be making my own characters.
Nice.
And turning them into NFTs. I don't understand it. That's why I got those guys to sort me out, because I said, I'll make the creations, you do the rest, because I don't get it. I don't understand this whole, what's it called, Discord?
Discord, communities, and all of that stuff.
I don't understand any of that.
Yeah.
So that's on the pipelines.
Wow, that's super interesting for me, because it's like, it's, you know, when you think NFTs, you just think of like, you know, your typical cartoons, like your monkeys and like what's already been made, right?
Yeah.
But you don't even like, I would have never even thought you would even mention it in this podcast. That's super interesting.
Yeah, so I'll be doing that. The book's coming out, so I'm really hoping that takes off, because it's a pretty cool book. So there's that. There's something else in the pipeline that I can't talk about just yet. Charlie has now want to come on board with this whole thing, so we're going to be focusing on. I don't want to put her too much out there.
Employee number one.
Yeah, number one. I don't want to put her too much out there.
Yeah.
Because of what
social media.
And just the outside world, and you don't know who's watching or what they're doing.
For sure.
But she's very interested in it, so that's something I'll be focusing on as well. What else is there? That's it, and then my clients that come through.
Nice. Whatever
comes through.
Ongoing work sort of comes through. You just go with the flow.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
No, you've blown my mind with the whole NFT thing. I was like, did not even expect it.
I think it will take off.
Of course.
I hope. I just think positive. But I don't understand it.
I think you've got the creative side of it down pat.
Yeah.
With the right team, surely it can take off. Like there's no doubt in my mind that it will take off.
Yeah, I think I mean, I don't know though. For me, I don't understand. And I know like NFT is not just about that picture. It's about like what other things that come from it and what it turns into. Like I get that concept. I just don't understand how people can pay so much money for a picture.
I think the one thing that I've learned, and I'm pretty sure this is what Kyle told me, I think it's more so about the utility behind it. It's not necessarily for the photo.
I know, but that wasn't at the beginning.
Was it? I think people wanted access to like Discords and communities, not necessarily utility, but also like to get closer to certain people, right? Because if you're in the same chat
like
or the same
Gary
room as them.
How he gives his training, and I get that. Like that part, absolutely, you pay for that, right?
Yeah.
But at the beginning, it wasn't like that. Like, does Bored Panda, or it's not Bored Panda, what's that?
Bored apes, yeah.
Bored ape.
Bored monkeys, no, bored apes, yeah.
Bored Panda's the article thing.
I don't know.
Anyway, it is. It's an article. It's like a website. Bored apes. They never. They didn't give utilities at the beginning. No, and people were paying how much money?
I think because they knew the utilities were coming.
Did they though?
I think every NFT has to have some sort of like a.
The utility was the community, right?
Yeah.
Right.
I'm an owner with Snoop Dogg, or I'm an owner with Justin Bieber.
Okay, yeah.
So like, that's where they got really creative.
Right.
They kind of probably got in contact with the right people.
Right.
There we go. So the community is the utility. So not direct utility, but in the sense of like they get access to certain people and maybe even bragging rights.
Right.
I think that's something that Gary Vee always talks about. He doesn't necessarily say bragging rights, but almost like that connection where people can say, "Oh, I've got this."
And he did well on that. Have you seen his stuff?
Yeah, smashing it. I think like Gary Vee's the epitome. As much as some people don't like him.
Started?
I don't think he started it. I think he like more so brought more awareness to it because it was like just like he disappeared for a bit and then he came back and is like, this is the next big thing. And I think like over time, he's sort of shown that, what he says is usually the way it goes.
He's I don't know who it was, reached out to me once a few years ago and he said, Gary Vee's in this chat. I'm like, no, he's not. Gary Vee's not in this chat. And he wrote, yes, I am. And that was it. Then I didn't hear anything else.
Oh.
Yeah. And then they gave some kind of number, phone number that's apparently Gary Vee's number.
Yeah.
Do you want it?
I'll take it. I might need it after this.
But I think it's just one of those, like I've never called it, never texted or anything. Yeah. But it comes up, like it's on my phone, it comes up as like Gary
Vee. Yeah, I think that's like the community text.
Yeah.
See, and I think that's going to be part of the whole NFTs in the future as well. So I think it's just community, utility. I think those are the two main things. And then eventually it'll just get, like in the cyber world and everything, there'll just be a lot more layers to it added on. Yeah. Like right now, obviously NFTs and crypto is just going through like dark times, but then again, everything is going through dark times, right?
That's right.
But everything in the future, once everything gets a bit better, a lot more will come to light and a lot
Yeah.
more will come alive and everything. But that's really, really exciting.
It is.
I'll definitely keep an eye on that
Yeah,
project.
keep an eye on it because it'll be my own characters, but it will be like not your kiddie characters.
Okay.
Yeah, it's going to be more like
Faces?
without. Yeah, it will be faces, but
Yeah.
the concept will be like there's different series, and the first one will be like you know how what's it called, Bored Ape
Yep.
has got like the ape, and then it changes clothing.
Yeah.
So my first series will be that same
Concept.
but different clothing or different like ingredients, but it's the same face.
Make
And
make
the
one for
face
me
would be like
with
a
coffee. I'll be number one buyer.
but it will be like the image will be more towards the look of the Bored Apes rather than
Nice.
your cutesy kind of.
Awesome.
Yeah, so it'll be good. I just got to get onto it.
Awesome. Looking forward to it. Hopefully,
Yeah.
is there an ETA on that, or is that sort of like
It
down
was
the track?
supposed to be June, July,
Yep.
but now I've got UK, so I have to sort that out first, and then when
Yeah.
I get back, I'm going to do it.
Awesome.
So
Looking
yeah.
forward to that.
Yeah, it'll be good.
Yeah.
Got something in my eye.
Nice. And to lace up the last part of the podcast, so we have come up with a little segment,
Okay.
and pretty much it is a question. It's very general. However, you can either limit it to what you do,
Yeah.
or it can be just in general.
Okay.
Okay. And the question is, what is a very popular opinion? However, you don't agree.
You really want me to answer that?
It could be about anything,
You sure?
even coffee.
A popular opinion.
So something that everyone agrees on. However, you just don't see it.
What about Elvis is the greatest entertainer in the world? I don't agree with it.
So you don't.
Although I watched the movie, it was amazing. Have you
Yeah.
seen it?
No, I have not seen it.
Go
But
and
so
watch
so
it.
you're so
My
a,
opinion
a
is
popular opinion
is that Elvis.
that a lot of people have, but you don't think.
don't
is-
agree because I think Michael Jackson is.
You think Michael Jackson is better than
Absolutely,
Elvis Presley?
hands down, Michael Jackson is the best entertainer that there ever will be.
I agree. However, maybe because I'm younger, I feel like yeah, I'm gonna get slaughtered for
Oh
this.
my God.
I genuinely think if they're like assuming he was the perfect celebrity, I think Chris Brown would be up there.
Oh
with
my
him.
God.
I
I'm
genuinely
done.
believe.
I'm done. No. Do you know Chris
Yeah,
Brown
maybe-
got
maybe
his
'cause
moves
I'm
from
young.
Michael Jackson and his
Yeah, but of
influence-
course. But if the student doesn't
Absolutely
become,
no way. See, this
if a
is
student-
the problem with
if
your
a stu-
generation. You have absolutely no clue about
listen.
proper music.
My mother grew
Chris
up with
Brown?
Michael Jackson, right? So, like me growing up, my mother loved Michael Jackson, so I've always been around. However, for my generation, like I feel like if the student doesn't become better than the teacher, then the teacher doesn't. It means they're not that good. So I feel like I genuinely believe if Chris Brown did nothing wrong,
Michael Jackson.
would be on
hold
par
on,
with
that's
Michael Jackson.
Absolute. That is the worst thing you've ever said. I just can't talk to you anymore.
honestly,
Really?
that's it.
That's
I
a
love
unpopular
Michael
opinion.
Jackson,
No,
but I
you
reckon Chris
cannot
Brown is not
compare.
far
Like,
off him.
Overall, Michael Jackson's vocals, you're going to compare that to Chris Brown? Come on, mate. You can't. do
Like I
that.
said, maybe it's just the generation thing, but I genuinely believe
think
he's
it
fairly
is.
close.
What do you guys think?
But then again, like the people who love
Michael
Elvis,
Jackson, right? Oh
if-
my
if-
God.
if what's it called? The people from the Elvis generation could probably say the same thing about Michael Jackson. They'll be like, "Who's Michael Jackson?
But
He
see,
did
Michael
this, he did
Jackson
that."
was around for a long time, and not only that, like Michael Jackson is still current now. Like you compare Michael Jackson's music to anybody now, his vocals, his dancing. Like put on a Michael Jackson concert, this man danced the whole time for 2.5 hours. I went to his concert. I went to
That's it.
I went to the History concert. It was the best night of my life. I actually didn't listen to him after that for a while. Because I just had too much of him. But you cannot compare his showmanship. Is that what it's called? Showmanship? Yeah. To any other artist. They now use auto-tune. They use all this
Of course,
stuff.
a lot more is processed and
Come
the
on,
music is
no,
different and
no, you
everything.
can't
But
compare.
you genuinely believe Michael Jackson is better than Elvis?
Absolutely. Michael Jackson live sounds exactly like Michael Jackson on the CD.
I'm pretty sure it'd be the same for Elvis, but
Possibly, but you can't compare Elvis to Michael Jackson.
see, this is what I mean. It's a generational
I
gap.
don't know. I don't think so.
But I still stand.
Talent-wise,
Yeah.
I can't believe you could have picked somebody better.
No, I genuinely believe
Brown.
it. Like,
Wow. I mean, geez, I would have said Jason Derulo.
jump.
I'm joking. Chris Brown? Oh. I can't believe he said
I
that.
think people just can't see past what he's done.
I don't even
But
look at that.
talent-wise,
No,
I reckon.
Listen, I listen
Okay.
to Chris Brown. I don't even care about what he's done. You know, like that's like saying Michael Jackson. I mean, I don't think he did that, to be quite
Yeah.
honest.
Oh, now
Actually,
that,
that's,
yeah.
there you go. There's
Yeah,
an
there you
opinion
go.
that
Yeah.
Everyone thinks I do not think Michael Jackson did that. I think he was 100% a weirdo. Absolutely.
But you got to
when
be a
you're
weirdo.
Exactly. And when you're a genius, the way his mind is, I think he was a child. I think he was very stupid at times and put himself in positions that he shouldn't have. But I definitely think, well, I don't definitely because I don't know, but I don't think he did do that
Yeah.
or that kind of stuff. So it doesn't matter what Chris Brown did. I just think like vocally and like performance level. And Michael Jackson was an amazing actor too. I don't know if you know that.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, he's amazing. He's just like, and
All around.
you look at the celebrities that have been in the spotlight for like 5 years and they're already turned to drugs and gone crazy and gone loopy. Michael Jackson has been in the scene since he was 4,
Yeah.
right? So he did pretty well. He did pretty well considering what he went through. You know, and back then he definitely had that skin disease. 100%. And you can see now, like comparison, if he was to come out with that skin disease and show the world what it was like, he would have been cancelled. Nowadays, it's embraced. Nowadays, you've got models that have got that disease and they're walking around with it and embracing it, right? Because everything's accepted now. But back then, it wasn't.
Do you reckon if Michael Jackson, this is last question.
Yeah.
This is the last question after the last question. Do you reckon if Michael Jackson was around today, if Michael Jackson came out now, as in he didn't come out when he did come out, he came out now, do you reckon he'd be as successful?
Absolutely. You cannot compare Michael Jackson's talent, Michael Jackson's ideas. He wrote all his songs. You can't compare him. He is like,
The GOAT.
I've got his tattoo on me, by the way. Like, I'm a freak of a fan.
Yeah.
Because when you're a Michael Jackson fan, like, you're all or nothing, right?
Die hard.
You die hard. I remember drawing the whole Dangerous album cover, going to the Hyatt when he came here. He was staying at the Park Hyatt at like 6 o'clock in the morning. I was in year 7 and I waited to give him that. And he came literally for 1 minute, waved and left. We were all so disappointed. But anyway, yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, right now it's saturated with all different artists and all that kind of stuff. But Michael Jackson, like, I don't
Gifted.
know. Oh, gifted. He's a genius. He is. And I think everyone knows that.
For sure.
And I think he was too powerful and too influential for the world. And that's why they... That's another story. That's another rabbit hole.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think he was way too influential and I think he was way too powerful.
Nice.
And they didn't want that.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Ah, definitely. That's a very good note to end the podcast on. Like
Yes.
that. I did not expect this conversation to ever
Yeah,
turn to that.
I can't believe you think Chris Brown is like...
Oh, no, I think like this is getting there. Like not far off.
Nah.
Not far off.
Why Chris Brown? There could have been
Ah,
someone
man, just
else.
everything. Like the way even he started. He didn't start as young as Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
But it built up over time to what it is now. Like I said, if he didn't go through that patch of what he went through, whatever happened, I'm not saying he didn't do it or did do it or whatever, he'd probably not surpass Michael Jackson. Like that'll be very hard, but it'll be fairly close. No, definitely not. No.
They're all shaking. Nah, you can't.
It's all good.
Yeah.
No, I just want to say thank you for coming on. I appreciate it.
having me.
I know you're a busy woman, got a lot going on and everything, especially with the UK trip coming up. So thank you for coming down.
No,
I
thanks for
appreciate
having
it.
me. I appreciate coming on.
It's all good. And I hope everyone enjoyed that. And please do let me know if Chris Brown is
Oh
coming
my
close
God.
or if I'm just delusional.
Can you
Please.
Can you do a poll on this, please?
Pardon?
Do a poll on
No,
this.
we're going to cut this into a short clip and we're going to turn it into a poll.
Perfect.
Done.
Michael Jackson.
Easy. No, Chris Brown.
You cannot. You can't compare.
No, like
Oh my
I'm saying
God.
he's coming close. Listen, I'm used to this. It's me against the world. Thank you, guys.